kipaumbele kama mke wangu. Mimi simwelewi. Unaogopata kumpa salamu. Manake haeleweki na vituko kama ni ule mzee.
Mimi namjua mke wako kweli?
Furaha hakuna. Ndio mwanzo mambo yamezidi kuvurugika.
Tipili yuko sawa.
Can you stop doing that?
Ili kupata sikiza tune hii ya mwanzo mpya, bonyeza *811*815#.
Usikae hapo na kujihurumia eti kwa sababu ulikosea ama ulianguka. Maisha wakati mwingine utapata umeanguka ama umekosea. Pata mafunzo pale. Unapopata mafunzo, inuka tena. Kung'uta mavumbi, songa mbele. Yaliyopita jamani, si ndwele, ganga yajayo. Maana kuna nguvu katika mwanzo mpya.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hiyo ya mwanzo mpya, bonyeza *811*815#. *811*815#.
Beacon Furnitures Limited. We're local manufacturers of quality office furniture, dealers in quality office equipment like fireproof safes and cabinets. Our automated state-of-the-art factories at Henna House along Enterprise Road in Nairobi's industrial area. Our showroom is at Uniafrica House, Koinange Lane off Koinange Street. We are passionate believers in locally manufactured goods. When you and I buy locally made furniture, we impact on the livelihoods of our brothers and sisters. For orders, visit our showroom at Uniafrica House, Koinange Lane off Koinange Street. Beacon Furnitures Limited. Jenga Kenya, tupate ajira.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru and our sign language interpreter is Lucy Maura. Remember, you can interact with us on our social media handle at KBC Channel 1. And now, to kick us off, we'll cross over to Nakuru Showground, where Deputy President William Ruto has taken his campaign trail to the vote-rich county of Nakuru. The Deputy President is accompanied by Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi and Ford Kenya's Moses Wetangula. This is the first joint rally by the three, which comes after last Sunday's announcement that they will be working together ahead of the 2022 general election. The alliance is expected to woo the region, and at the same time, other leaders from the Rift Valley region and across the country are expected to accompany the trio. Let's listen in.
A very good afternoon, Jackie Wambiru, coming to you live from Nakuru SK Showground, where Deputy President William Ruto, who is the party leader of the UDA party, alongside ANC party leader Moses Wetangula and Ford Kenya party leader, ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi and Ford Kenya party leader Moses Wetangula are having a joined political rally here at the ASK Showground in Nakuru. Remember, this is the first rally the three leaders are holding barely 3 days after their newfound union. It is important to note that Deputy President William Ruto has already arrived. NC party leader Musalia Mudavadi is also arrived. as well as Ford Party leader Moses Wetangula has also arrived at this venue. Wambiru, it is important to know that Nakuru is the same venue where Uhuru and where President Uhuru and Deputy President William Ruto launched their alliance on December 2012 ahead of the March 4th, 2013 general elections. Therefore, it is the same venue where the three principals have decided that they will be meeting, or they will be conducting their first meeting. Remember, this is a place whereby of late it has been receiving a lot of politics. Nakuru is increasingly taking center stage in the country politics, judging of course from the number of national meetings that are held in the county. Nakuru is a cosmopolitan area that has been inhabited by almost all tribes, and according to the 2017 statistics, actually Nakuru was among the country's largest vote basket with about 949,618 registered voters. Therefore, the venue is already packed. We have a lot of supporters who have turned up in large number to witness the first meeting by the three principals. Let's have us listen in from some of the leaders who are speaking. Just to summarize some of the issues that were being raised by the leaders who've spoken, they're saying that this is the union that will emerge the winner in the 2022 general elections that have been slated for August. Remember, this is the meeting whereby so many lawyers and political analysts are saying will provide an avenue for Musalia Mudavadi to be on the ground after facing a lot of criticism that he has been having so many boardroom meetings instead of campaigning while in One Kenya Alliance. Therefore, we will keep our viewers updated in our subsequent news bulletin. Back to you, Wambiru.
Well, those live pictures on your screen are the rally that is currently underway, the rally by UDA, ANC and Ford Kenya that is currently underway in Nakuru. And we shall be keeping you updated as the developments come up. For now, we move on. Over 1,000 chicken have been burnt to death in an early morning fire that razed down a chicken farm in Sigona area of Kikuyu, Kiambu County. The fire, whose cause is yet to be established, also consumed eggs, with the owner of the farm saying he had lost a property estimated to cost 3 million shillings.
The owner of this poultry farm located at Sigona area of Kikuyu in Kiambu County is counting losses running into millions. This is what has been left of his investment after an inferno that broke out at 3 a.m. consumed 1,000 chicken and eggs. Only a few chicken were rescued during the incident, whose cause is yet to be established.
Nilikuwa na kuku kama 1,000 kwa hizo bomas, lakini hatukuweza kuokoa, zimeokolewa kuku kidogo sana. Sijajua kabisa chanzo cha moto ni nini, kwa vile hata hiyo kijana anafanya kazi ya kufuga hizo kuku hakuweko.
The owner of the farm, Waura Gakaria, estimating losses amounting close to 3 million shillings.
Kila kitu imeenda na moto, kuanzia the boma itself, kuku zenyewe, the cages, the feeds, everything.
The area residents now want a fire station set up at Kikuyu to reduce the response time whenever such incidents occur.
Kama tungekuwa na fire station ama gari ya moto karibu hapa kama Kikuyu, tungesaidika sana, because the vehicle had to come all the way from Kiambu.
Sasa tulikuwa tunatumia mandoo, tunatumia kile tutaweza. Hata tulikuwa tunaziki watangi juu kutoa maji. Sasa tutaweza lakini tumeshindwa. Lakini tumejaribu kidogo tutaweza. Hapo pekee lakini Kalimoshi ilikuja tusaidia kidogo kwa jiweza.
Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
In other news, the Kisii County government says it is in the process of establishing markets for oriented perishable goods in both its urban and rural centers. According to Kisii County CEC for Agriculture Esman Onsarigo, the wet markets will cushion farmers from post-harvest losses.
Farmers in Kisii County can now smile all the way to the bank as the county government establishes mechanisms of cushioning them from losses from their perishable goods.
Wet market ni mahali ambapo bidhaa ya ukulima itauzwa kwa njia ya kisasa. Itafuata maagizo yote yale yanayotakikana duniani in terms of food safety, in terms of hygiene na kila kitu.
Speaking while he inspected the site where the said markets will be built, Kisii County CEC for Agriculture Osman Onsarigo further said that the farmers will not have to worry about preservatives for their perishable goods.
Hii ni soko ambayo itakuwa ni soko ya bidhaa za fresh produce. Haitauza vile zile zimekauka. Ni zile ambazo zinauzwa na kutoka shambani.
Elsewhere in Kisumu, the agriculture sector is set to receive a boost following training of 45 breed mix of extension officers and community business coaches CBC, who will also provide extension services to farmers.
We are getting into an area where, with the shortage of extension staff, as majority of the extension staff are now retiring, we are getting to an area where we want to involve farmers themselves and especially the youths.
Kisumu Chief Officer of Agriculture who spoke in Kisii further assured that his office will ensure value for goods for farmers. The training, which is in collaboration with Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, will continue for 2 weeks. Purity Museo, Lunchtime News.
Now, East Africa Business Council has raised concern over what they term as increasing number of roadblocks in both Kenya and Uganda, which they say are avenues of corruption. Now, the council Chief Executive Officer John Bosco Carissa says the barriers have affected the ease of doing business due to unnecessary delays on the roads. They question the rationale of the roadblocks, saying the personnel hardly verify the goods.
Cross-border women and other stakeholders have raised the issues of more than 50 roadblocks from Kenya to the border, from Nairobi to the border. The same we've observed from here, Busia to Jinja. There are a number of roadblocks, and those roadblocks, they are avenues for corruption. Because roadblocks are not meant to verify goods. Why do you need, in every 2 kilometers you have a roadblock? For what? So that's what we are calling upon as the EABC. We are calling upon our partner states to completely remove roadblocks. They just maintain the traffic roadblocks.
We've asked the CEO through KEPSA Kenya to take this to the summit of the East African community. That at least what they told us when the launching of this OSBP was taking place is not what is taking place on the ground today. And therefore we want a redefinition of that protocol, so that if it is indeed that Uganda will stand as Uganda and Kenya stands as Kenya, then it be so. But if you are going to work as East African, then the spirit must prevail.
Kwa Kiingereza tuna kitu tunaita turnaround. Gari nataka ifike Kampala, irudi tena Mombasa ichukue bidhaa. Hiyo itachelewesha gari. Kama ingekuwa inafanya mikondo 8 kwa mwezi, gari itafanya mikondo 6, na hapo mfanyabiashara hatapata pesa zake vile ingetakikana.
Meanwhile, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is urging the political class to mobilize the public to register as voters in their respective counties. Garissa IEBC election manager Hussein Gure says the county is witnessing low voter turnout and politicians can play a vital role in reversing this. The second phase of enhanced mass voter registration ends on 6th February 2022.
The second phase of the enhanced mass voter registration exercise by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has witnessed a low voter turnout in most parts of the country compared to the targeted numbers. The election body has now turned to improve the numbers. IEBC's election manager in Garissa, Hussein Gure, believes sensitization from political leaders will encourage Kenyans, especially the youth, to register ahead of the August 9th general election. Lagdera constituency in Garissa County has been singled out as one with high number of eligible voters. But unfortunately, most of them have moved out of the county to feed their livestock.
Township constituency is doing relatively well, and followed by the Dab and Ijara constituencies. As I said earlier on, we have an issue with Lagdera constituency because of the drought situation. Although it has rained in other parts of Garissa County.
Garissa County has in record registered 3,008 people, translating to 10% of the targeted 28,941 eligible voters. The second phase of enhanced mass voter registration is scheduled to come to a close on February 6th, with the IEBC targeting 4.5 million eligible voters nationally. In the first phase, October-November 2021, IEBC managed to register 1.5 million voters from expectations of 6 million registrations. Irene Mchuma Odim, The Lunchtime News.
And in the political arena, Democratic Party presidential aspirant, who is also the National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi, maintains that his name will be on the ballot in his quest for the country's top seat. Muturi says he is not worried about the recent alignment from his political rivals, saying his focus was on mobilization to ensure he qualifies.
Delegates from Limuru and Lari sub-counties, Muturi noted that the party had grassroots support due to its long existence and was working towards its revival. Muturi announced that the party will be holding a national delegates conference on 21st February, where the delegates will resolve on whether or not to form alliance with other parties.
Being the candidate for the Democratic Party, my question is, yes, can we also, as a region, agree that there is necessity for us to coalesce within one big political party for this region?
Elsewhere, the Party for Peace and Democracy has appealed for a peaceful transition once the elections are done and a new government is in place. Speaking during a meeting with aspirants angling for various seats in the county on the party ticket, National Vice Chair Wambiru claimed the biggest win for country as a party is having peace in the country during and after general elections.
Wetu kama chama cha PPD kwanza tunaupeleka kwa rais wetu mpendwa His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Tunamwambia kwamba ile legacy ataachia wananchi wa Kenya kama chama cha PPD. Ile legacy atatuachia sisi kama wana Kenya na kama wana PPD ni kutuachia a peaceful transition.
Tukikutana huko nje, kila mtu awanie na ang'ang'anie nafasi yake. Tusikue watu wa kutukanana, kupigana, kurushiana maneno, kudharauiana, manake Embu is a democratic county.
ODM leaders from Nyandarua County have called on the youth from the region to shun leaders and politicians who are out to use them to cause mayhem in political campaigns and public gatherings.
Tokee kwa wingi tujiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Manake 70% and of course 78%, wacha niseme sahi. Sisi ndio tuko wengi hapa nchini Kenya. Kwa hivyo nchi ni yetu. Tujitokeze tupige kura. Daud Ahmed.
And finally, Mandera North MP Bashir Abdullahi has said that the region will support the presidential candidate who aligns and understands the problems of the northeastern residents.
2022 itakuwa na condition. Tunataka madaraka kama ni deputy governor, kama ni women rep, kama ni mawaziri ngapi, ma-PS ngapi, wengine ni ngapi, hiyo itakuwa kwa meza. Lakini sisi kama viongozi mmetupatia idhini ya kurudi kwa meza na tujadiliane nani tutajenga na nani ambaye atakuwa na agenda ya jamii ya Dugudhia.
Away from the political arena, residents of Old Town in Mombasa County have raised health concerns over raw sewage allegedly discharged into the Indian Ocean by the county government. According to the residents, the discharge to the sea has been going on for the last 7 years. They're now urging the county government to find a solution to the dire problem. Well, we shall be bringing you that report later on in our bulletin. For now, let's take a short break, then we'll resume.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
有一段故事建筑一座城堡
I'm trying to teach the boy. He said he was going to catch one for you. After 2 minutes had gone by, he gave up. This is a lesson for him. A man follows through on his word. He shouldn't just give up.
Wow, Joey. You think people will look into your past? I was once your girlfriend. Maybe I'll get discovered.
She and I will get married. I hope you can help me get Manny to accept it.
What if I can't accept it?
有一段故事建筑一座城堡回放进去后就不再打扰
Tusirudi nyuma kwa mipaka na nchi kufungwa. Tusirudi kwa biashara na shule kufungwa. Kwa kutoweza kukutana. Kwa kutengana na tuwapendao. Tusirudi nyuma.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
Ili tuendelee na maisha vizuri.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge,
pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge,
pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
Ili tuendeleze maisha bora kwa ajili ya wapendao, nchi yetu na usoni wetu. Kwa ajili yetu sisi sote. Pata chanjo. Kaa chonjo. Kuhakikisha nchi yetu na uchumi wetu umestawi katika uwazi. Tusirudi nyuma.
Welcome back. Allow me to take a step back. Residents of Old Town in Mombasa County have raised health concerns over raw sewage allegedly discharged into the Indian Ocean by the county government. According to the residents, the discharge to the sea has been going on for the last 7 years. They are now urging the county government to find a solution to the dire problem.
Led by Old Town residents Chairman Ahmed Awaf, the residents faulted Mombasa County Government and the National Environment Management Authority for poor management of raw sewer.
Hii haikuwa hivi miaka 10, miaka 7, 8 iliyopita. Ilikuwa ni beach nzuri hapa. Leo kumekuwa pahali pa bovu sana. Huwezi hata kusubutu kuja kuogelea. Samaki wanakufa, wanapata sumu, wanahama, wanakwenda bahari ya maji makubwa mbali huko.
Serikali ziko hapa zaidi ya miaka 10, pipe ni mbovu. System yao yote ya disposal ni mbaya. Ukiangalia tuna pump station hapa ambayo yatakiwa iseparate, yani igawanye ule uchafu na ipurify yale maji kabla hajaingia baharini, lakini zizo vitu vyote ni vibovu na havijafanya kazi miaka.
Faiz Ali, who is the vice chairman of Old Town Beach Management Unit, further noted that the discharge of raw sewage to the ocean has led into a dramatic decline of fish, which has affected the fishermen in the area.
Right now, because of too much pollution, hii beach yetu imekuwa ni dead zone. Hapa sasa hivi hakuna breeding grounds of any bait fish, and the main reason to find out kuwa ni all the polluted waters, all the treatment which are supposed to be treating this water before it's be releasing to the sea are not functional, hazifanyi kazi.
The residents are now urging the county government and NEMA to find ways of ensuring the sewage is not directed into the ocean as it exposes them to health hazards.
Hapa health hazard iko juu na yote 9-10 watu ambao wafaa washughulike na masuala haya wamezembea. Somebody must be held responsible on this. Manake hii ni health hazard, si mtani, si mchezo.
Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
2 more bodies were Tuesday retrieved from River Yala. Gem Sub-County Police Commander Charles Chacha said the bodies were taken to Yala Sub-County Hospital mortuary. This brings to 23 the number of bodies that have been retrieved from the river. Families that have identified the bodies of their kinsmen have meanwhile accused the Directorate of Criminal Investigation of dragging its feet in authorizing the release of the bodies for burial.
Speaking at the Jeb Sub-County Hospital, relatives have identified the bodies, lamented that they have not been allowed to collect them, with the homicide team from the DCI headquarters insisting that a DNA will have to be conducted to ascertain if indeed the bodies really belong to their kingsmen.
Nimefika hapa nilikuwa nakujia mwili, but venye nimefika hapa imekuwa dramatic by the way. Sasa issue was tumeonyeshwa mwili, hatujaonyeshwa mwili yote, tumeonyeshwa tu kichwa.
The families that came as far as Machakos and Kericho counties hoping to pick the bodies they had identified left a dejected lot after they were informed that this could not be possible.
We lost our brother Philemon, and all we want is justice and for them to release the body so we can put him to rest.
Mutiso Nzomo, whose brother, the late Peter Mutuku's body, was retrieved from the River Yala, lamented that the officer allegedly refused to inform them when the postmortem will be done.
DCI wamekuja hapa, wakafanya vitu vyao, wakaenda. Tumetoka mbali all the way from Machakos, Kangundo. Sasa na wamemaliza na wameenda. Hatujui sasa ni itaisha kesho, DNA itafanywa kesho.
Mutiso revealed that they had positively identified their brother and were ready to collect the body for burial in Kagundo this Friday. Ben Chepkonyi, on the other hand, whose brother Philemon Chepkonyi's body is also lying at the mortuary, called on the institutions handling the matter to be sensitive to the affected families.
The institution involved waanze kutuelekeza mahali palipo na ukweli. That is what I tell them.
This is as 2 more bodies were retrieved from the river on Tuesday, bringing to 23 the total number of unknown persons whose bodies have been recovered.
We understand that we are awaiting the chief pathologist to get here. We have received very good cooperation from the DCI, but we are appealing to the pathologists to make it easier for the families. They are already undergoing a lot of mental, psychological torture.
And Kericho residents are set to benefit from improved healthcare services after the county government added 3 more ambulances to the existing fleet. Kericho Governor Paul Chepkwony, who flagged off the ambulances, said the move was to facilitate universal healthcare services. The project to purchase the vehicle with 28 million shillings was sponsored by the World Bank and the National Blood Transfusion Services.
We have 3 utility vehicles, one two funded by county government, 6.2 million. Now World Bank 7.8 million, na kuna moja ya National Blood Transfusion Services yenye haiko hapa. Yote ni 6, lakini mnaona 5 hapa. Na hizi gari zinasaidia wananchi katika mambo ya emergency na support supervision. Nataka nisindue hizi magari ziende kufanya ile kazi tumeinunulia, na hiyo kazi ni kusaidia mwananchi wa Kericho. The Holy Spirit. Asante.
Across borders, Chinese President Xi Jinping has called for joint efforts to chart the course of economic globalization and forge new models of global growth, cooperation, governance and development. Addressing the opening plenary of the 2022 World Economic Forum annual meeting, Xi said global vision not only embodies the common values of mankind and conforms to the trend of the times, but also carries a far-reaching influence for the prosperity and progress of mankind.
President Xi made a 4-point proposal on common development, namely jointly defeating the pandemic, promoting steady recovery of the world economy, revitalizing global development and seeking peaceful coexistence and win-win outcomes. It reaffirmed China's commitment to pursuing high-quality development, reform and opening up, as well as ecological conservation, to create a better post-COVID-19 world. The Chinese president called for discarding Cold War mentality and seeking peaceful coexistence and win-win cooperation. In a world affected by combined major changes and a pandemic unseen in a century, President Xi said global vision not only embodies the common values of mankind and conforms to the trend of the times, but also carries far-reaching influence for the prosperity and progress of mankind. President Xi offered distinctive Chinese solutions to global challenges and demonstrated Chinese sense of responsibility, making the voice of the world's second-largest economy heard by others. The Chinese solutions are pushing the world to move forward and have won high prizes from the international community. Timothy Kipnoso for Lunchtime News.
In other news, a row has erupted over the management of a Boda Boda association in Kitengela town, threatening to split it. The more than 7,000 riders have been unable to agree on how to solve challenges facing the association, such as resource management and the welfare of the members.
The Kitengela riders seem not to agree on how best to solve their problems. While some believe a snap election is the best way to go, others want members to have faith in the current leadership to steer the association in the desired direction. There are 16 registered Boda Boda association in Kitengela, with some being accused of doing little to improve the welfare of their members.
Lakini hiyo kikundi ikakuja ikachaguana, kwa saizi wanasema wao ndio overall chairman, na ili hali si tunachua hakuna overall chairman. Kwa saizi tumepangilia uchaguzi tarehe 18 mwezi wa pili, ndio tuingie kwa uwanja tuchague chairman wetu wa Kitengela mzima mwenye ataongoza watu zaidi ya 7,000.
Kuna stage kadhaa zimefunguliwa ndogo ndogo ambao kwa vijana wenye hawajahitimu kuwa wana boda boda. Naomba tufanye uchaguzi, tutafute kiongozi mzuri, kiongozi mwenye ako na heshima na watu wake, kiongozi mwenye amekomaa anajua ni nani atae kwa boda boda.
Geoffrey Karanja, who chairs the Mother Association, is among those being accused of running down the groups. Karanja believes his predecessors are out to derail his office by sponsoring pockets of resistance in the 127 termini spread across the region.
Hakuna uchaguzi iko ya boda boda kwa saa hii. Sisi tunaendelea na kazi, ofisi imefunguliwa Kitengela boda boda. Tuko pia na sako, tumesave over 300,000 within 2 months. Na sisi tunataka maendeleo, na ikiwa ni msimu wa siasa, mimi kama chairman wa Kitengela boda boda nataka kukashifu wanasiasa ambao wanajaribu kuleta mgawanyiko kwa watu wa boda boda.
Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Lunchtime News.
24.8% of Kenyans are undernourished, with 25% of children under 5 years experiencing stunted growth. Speaking during the launch of the 2021 Global Hunger Index report, World Hunger Health Country Director Kevin Shingles says conflict, climate change and COVID-19 pandemic are to blame for Kenya's slow progress in the eradication of hunger.
Over 2 million people are facing acute starvation in Kenya as the pangs of drought continue to bite certain parts of the country. Speaking during the launch of the 2021 Global Hunger Index report, World Hunger Health Country Director Kelvin Shingles termed conflict, climate change and COVID-19 pandemic as the biggest drivers of the food crisis.
We're seeing 2-3 years of depressed or minimal rainfall, supporting rejuvenation of grazeland, supporting agricultural production. And unfortunately, we're seeing now that the frequency of drought is on the increase due to climate change.
Kenya scored 23.0 in the 2021 GHI report, which lists the country at position 87 out of 116 countries ranked. The report further indicated that 24.8% of Kenya's population is undernourished, while 25% of children under 5 years are stunted.
Since the year 2000, the GHI score in Kenya has decreased by 13.7 points, which represents a percentage decrease of 37.3%. However, Kenya's GHI score trend shows that although the decline in the score is steady, it is falling at an increasing lower rate, meaning that progress in the fight against hunger is actually slowing.
With the country almost entering the red zone in the hunger crisis, stakeholders are calling for sustainable solutions, which include building resilience among the affected communities.
If you look at the statistics, as you mentioned, the level of malnutrition, poverty, and people who are suffering extreme poverty, you will find them mainly in the northern parts of this country. And that is not by accident. If you look at the level of investment in this country over the years since independence, you will realize that the regions that we come from and where you see a lot of these reports have been severely underserved.
So the government, of course, realizes that we cannot walk alone, and that's why we need partners like WHH, EU, UNICEF, Concern Worldwide, in order to tackle the malnutrition.
Talking about people changing their lifestyles from pastoralists having small farms to be able to grow the feed that they need for their livestock instead of moving around for that. And this is how we can change the way we fight climate, and we are able to reduce conflict.
This is the 6th publication of the Global Hunger Index, which is a tool designed to measure and track hunger at the global, regional and national levels. For Lunchtime News, I'm Safin Acheng Ouma.
Still across borders, at least 8 people have been confirmed dead following a stampede that also left more than 38 others seriously injured ahead of yesterday's Africa Cup of Nations match between Cameroon and Comoros. The stampede occurred at the south entrance of the stadium as fans attempted to watch the round of 16 match, which ended in a 2-1 victory to Cameroon. The Confederation of African Football, which runs the continent's flagship competition, said it was investigating the situation and trying to get more details on what transpired.
8 football fans in Cameroon met their untimely death in a stampede that occurred ahead of an Africa Cup of Nations round of 16 match. The anxiety, agitation and delay of letting fans inside the Olembe Stadium is believed to be the cause of the stampede. President of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has said investigation into the incident will center on who closed the gate at the stadium. Meanwhile, a tropical storm dubbed Anna has killed at least 36 people in Madagascar and Mozambique, leaving nearly 65,000 others homeless since last week. Search and rescue operations are underway as dozens are reported missing in the region, wreaked havoc by the extreme weather condition. Elsewhere, suspected Islamic militants have killed at least 12 civilians and burned down houses during raids on 2 villages in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Army spokesman Jules Ngongo said soldiers could not do anything to stop the attack. And finally, the Senegalese army says 2 of its soldiers have been killed and 9 others are still missing after clashes in the Gambia, a country almost totally surrounded by Senegal. The troops are part of the West African peacekeeping mission that have been deployed in the Gambia for the last 5 years. Brian Mwindi for Lunchtime News.
Education stakeholders are now say empowering women economically within their rural setups can help in the fight against female genital mutilation among the Korea community. Msichana Empowerment, an organization that fights FGM, FGM in the region, says the government needs to devise more approaches in ending the vice in the society. Now, the organization's chief executive officer, Magdalene Majoma, noted that most women within the Korea community force young girls to face the knife and later marry them off due to economic constraints. The anti-FGM crusader was speaking during the issuance of checks to several women groups who have been in the forefront in advocating for education of girls in the community.
Initially, we had so many women who used to engage in the cutting process. We had few women who engaged in the cut. But right now, like any woman is coming up, cutters are many.
Looking forward to having a community whereby women are empowered economically in that they can speak for their daughters, and any harmful practices, FGM and child marriage ends with the generation that we have today.
And our news making headlines in the business world. Kilifi County is looking to attract Chinese tourists following the establishment of a museum at Wambiru village, Magarini sub-county. The museums will be established alongside an industrial park in honor of a Chinese sailor who docked in the area over 600 years ago.
China is an emerging tour resource market for Kenya, appearing in the top 5. Most Chinese who visit the country tour the Kenya tourism circuit, which includes Nyeri, the Masai Mara and Nairobi. Kilifi County looks to attract the tourists with the establishment of the museum. Chinese Chamber of Commerce is tracing the history of Chinese in the country and are keen to make Wambiru and Kilifi County part of their tourism circuit as part of celebrating their centuries-old heritage in the region. Chinese Chamber of Commerce is planning to send a delegation to the historical site before embarking on a mission to build the museum and the industrial park to honor the great sailor.
Through tourism, we want to see more tourists from China coming here to reconnect with their forefathers who came here those early days. So we want to see tourism, and tourism is economy. It will spur the economy of this zone, Wambiru and Magarini, and by extension Malindi and Kilifi County. But also, since they want to set up an industrial park naturally will have more than one company in there in different sectors.
Kilifi County officials said that a museum and industrial park will spur economic growth and promote tourism.
Kimaono wetu kupitia ruwaza yao itapanua hii sehemu, itapanua biashara, itapanua uchumi, na hata historia yetu itazidi kutajirika, kwamba ulimwengu mzima utajua kwamba katika sehemu zilizobahatikiwa kupata wanahistoria wengi ama kupata sailors wafanya biashara, moja wapo ilikuwa Wambiru ambayo yuko Magarini, the larger Kilifi County.
Youths have been urged to take advantage of the technical institution to build their skills and improve their employability in the industrial park. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
Meanwhile, policymakers of the central bank are this afternoon expected to meet to review the benchmark lending rate that will determine the cost of credit for the next 2 months. In their last meeting in November last year, the policymakers retained the benchmark lending rate at 7%, as has been the case since April 2020.
Bank lending rate, which is reviewed every 2 months, is based on a survey conducted by the Monetary Policy Committee on the economic status of the country and the current inflation rate. In their previous review in November 2021, the Monetary Policy Committee retained the benchmark lending rate at 7% on account of well-anchored inflation, double-digit growth in exports, growth in private sector credit, as well as a rebound in revenue performance following the pickup of economic activities and improvement of the business environment. The policymakers meet this afternoon on the back of the rate of inflation slowing to 5.7% in December and the shilling coming under pressure from end-month dollar demand, especially from fuel importers. In addition, the COVID-19 risk to disrupt economic performance remains alive, as well as increasing crude oil prices and poor rains that affected food production and could affect the price of commodities. In her analysis, Anwar Shera, a senior investment analyst at Saiton Investments, projects that central bank policymakers would leave the borrowing costs unchanged for a 12th consecutive time, arguing that increasing the benchmark lending rate would have a negative ripple effect on the economy since most sectors and businesses are still recovering from disruptions caused by the coronavirus. Reporting for Lunchtime News, my name is Ibak Saeed.
The Kenya Revenue Authority has lost more than $500 million due to the border crossing row with Uganda that started this month. KRA says trade between Kenya and Uganda has significantly reduced after the neighboring country imposed new regulations on COVID-19 tests and certificates. KRA is optimistic that normal operations at the border points would resume from tomorrow after the issues were resolved and more personnel deployed to clear the backlog.
The Kenya Revenue Authorities said the monthly collections at the Malaba and Busia border points have reduced from 1 billion shillings monthly to 600 million shillings since Uganda introduced a mandatory COVID-19 test for travelers from Kenya. KRA officials say the traffic snarl-up saw the taxman lose out on collections from mainly sugar and animal feeds that are imported from Uganda. However, KRA says the 2 drive-through scanners at Busia and Malaba border ports are in full operation and clearance of trucks headed to the neighboring country might be done by the end of today. KRA is seeking to increase automation of border points to crack down on counterfeit products and increase revenue streams. Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
And in the sports arena, Kenyan sprinter Ferdinand Omanyala and Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon were the best sports personality of the year 2021, according to the Sawyer panel of judges. Now, the 2 Kenyan greats were awarded for their outstanding performances in 2021 alongside other sports personalities who won 10 other different categories at the Sawyer Awards Gala held last night at the Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega County.
The 2021 Sawyer Awards Gala, the 18th edition of the annual ceremony that has recognized Kenyan sportsmen and women for their hard work, was held in Bukungu Stadium. And who else than Ferdinand Omanyala and Faith Kipyegon to steal the show in Kakamega County? Omanyala's 2021 performances in the sprints that saw him set the national record for their 100 meters was named the Sportsman of the Year, while Faith Kipyegon, the 1500-meter star who ended Sifan Hassan's dream of an Olympic triple at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, took the Best Women of the Year 2021 award.
I've been watching this event on TV for the last 3 years, 3 awards, but now it's me being watched here. So it's a pleasure, and I thank everyone for, the organization and everybody for doing this. It's motivating, and it's also something that shows people appreciate what I'm doing.
Like what to say. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful today. DG Kakamega County, Senator Kakamega County, and President Nook. Thank you so much. I'm so delighted today to be here in Kakamega.
Olympic marathon champion Eliud Kipchoge, who also won a second consecutive Olympic gold in Tokyo, having taken the marathon gold in Rio, Brazil in 2016, was named the greatest of all-time athlete.
I therefore accept this recognition award on behalf of all athletes who went beyond their comfort zone, who were super resilient, super courageous, and super patriotic, and who demonstrated how even a world facing the unpredictable world of COVID can still be united by sports.
Kipchoge, who won silver on the track in Beijing and bronze in Athens, has been a great athlete on the road, winning a total of 9 world marathon majors besides the 2 Olympic gold medals. 2-time World Olympic champion Simon Kibai and Nancy Chelangat, the only Kenyan athlete to win a medal at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics, were named the best sportsman and woman of the year living with disability. The National Rugby Sevens team Shujaa, currently in Sevilla, Spain for the 4th leg of the HSBC World Series, was named the best men team of the year, while Sekafa champions Vihiga Queens was named the best female team of the year. The Queens coach Charles Okere was recognized for being the best coach in 2021. Heringston Wanyonyi, the world under-20 racewalk champion, and Teresia Mudhoni took home the most promising male and female of the year awards.
Liverpool hitman Sadio Mane scored as Teranga Lions of Senegal secured a 2-0 win over 9-man Cape Verde in the last 16 at the Africa Cup of Nations. Meanwhile, Atlas Lions of Morocco are through to the last 8 of the Africa Cup of Nations after a 2-1 victory over stubborn Flames of Malawi in Yaoundé.
Swung inside here to the back post.